One of the reasons I love not only writing about but teaching about the Constitution is that when we have in this country debates about constitutional principles, the usual categories of Democrat and Republican, liberal and conservative, almost immediately become almost worthless. Now that's a radical statement, and there are lots of people, including political scientists, who would disagree with me. But here's what I mean. Take the current war on terror and concerns that were especially raised during the Bush administration, but that continue to be raised now in the Obama administration, about the question, does the executive have too much power? Have these two presidents, the two presidents we've had now presiding during the war against terrorism or terrorist organizations, have they seized more power than they should have? Or have they seized new and previously unprecedented powers? And you find something very interesting. And the interesting thing is that usually we think people who are originalists, people who want to say we should interpret the Constitution the way the founders did, we call them conservatives. And usually people who say we have to make the Constitution be flexible, we have to adjust its meaning according to current circumstances, we call them liberals. Well, here's a case where those two are completely reversed. If we can stereotype and say liberals are the kind of people whom we expect to say the presidents are taking too much power, well, they're the ones who are being the originalists. They're saying the framers didn't want presidents to have this kind of power. That proves it must be wrong. And if we assume that conservatives are the people we expect to say it's good that the presidents have new and expansive powers because of the war against terrorism, well, we now have conservative legal thinkers saying, well, we need new, creative, original ways of thinking about the Constitution in the face of this new threat. I don't think that that's the slightest bit hypocritical or inconsistent. I think what it shows is how unhelpful it is to try and pigeonhole people in terms of political or partisan or party categories when we're talking about the Constitution and sort of the deeper meaning. Alexis de Tocqueville once very famously said, any really important philosophical question in America eventually comes before the courts. And I think that's right. I think we argue about the Constitution and its meaning when we want to have an argument about our deepest political and philosophical commitments. We argue about tax policy in terms of parties or healthcare reform. But when we get down to the deep questions, we tend to start talking about the Constitution. And when we do that, I find that the disagreements and the conflicts are just much more interesting and much deeper and much more profound than the usual language of liberal and conservative captures.